Hi, my name is Claire Xu. I was born and raised in China until I was 18. Then I moved to the US for college. Then after college, I went to graduate school. I got a PhD in cancer biology. And then I moved from Boston to San Francisco, which is where I currently live. I work for a biotech company in the Bay Area. I've been living in the US for about 15 years now. I was raised as an atheist, so I used to be very, non-spiritual. I used to think that all people who believe in God are weak and stupid. And I went through, life, most of my life, thinking in that mindset until about 5 years ago. I went through a tough time in the sense that I had a lot of inner suffering. Things were happening in my life that were out of my control, and I had, up until that point, been very good at achieving, things that I set my mind to. Whatever was my goal, I was good at applying myself and then achieving it. And there was no, deeply seated desires that was not achievable by my own capabilities. So in 2017, a lot of things happened in my life that were out of my control. And I went through a lot of inner pain. I just didn't really know what to do. And there was nothing that my mind could come up with that was helpful. And I was feeling very helpless. I wasn't depressed in the clinical sense. Like, I was still perfectly fine and capable and doing well at work. I was socializing. I was, going through daily life. But there was this deep inner pain and helplessness that I didn't really know what to do. I felt kind of sick of my mind because I could tell that my mind was not in a good place. Like, I didn't like my mind anymore, anything that my mind had to say. And that's when I started meditating on my own. I was using this app that's very popular now called Headspace. And I was meditating on my own, and that was helpful for the time being because it kind of helped me stay more in the present. And, the mind was less thinking back to the past or thinking, about the future, which was the root of a lot of suffering. I was able to stay in the present more, and I thought that was good. I thought I was fine. I could meditate on my own. That would solve all the problems. Until I did that for a couple years on my own. But then in 2021, something else happened in my life that made me feel that I am back at the same place that I was in 2017. All of this time of meditating on my own was just like applying a Band-Aid to the wound. It didn't really address the real problem. My mind was still the same mind. And when a real crisis happened, it reacted in the same way. And it caused me the same amount of pain. And I realized there was nothing I could do to help myself because I just didn't know better. I actually needed a real master who could help me. And that's when I started meditating with Guruji.
If you ever have the good fortune of coming into contact with him, you should hold on to him. There's a website if you are interested in getting to know more about Guruji. If you search for Raghuveer Singh Rajput, you will see the website for World Spiritual Foundation. And there is a page of bio of Guruji with his life experiences. And then there are also testimonies from other people that have meditated with him that he has made, changes on them in their lives. And then there's also links to register for sessions. He has said in the past that it's probably better if you're new to join the group meditation session first, just so that you get familiarized with the format of the session, and you sometimes hear about others' experiences. Usually there are between 15 to 25 participants in the group sessions, and there will be a host. At the beginning, the host will share the instructions for the session. They're not complicated, and it's the easiest meditation I've experienced. You literally don't do anything. You don't have to control your mind. You don't have to try so hard to focus. You don't have to, try to get rid of all your thoughts. So he is the doctor that actually can diagnose the specific malady for each specific patient and knows exactly what he needs to do for each person. So different people may have different experiences in meditation. So there's, no need to compare, no need to wonder, is there a specific way I'm supposed to feel? How come I didn't feel that? None of that. And over time, you will feel the difference, like I did. Very profound difference. It's not the same as when you go to a psychiatrist or a therapist. I've been to therapy sessions. I went through years of therapies, and I've had very good therapists too, but what therapies do is still they try to influence your mind, how you think, your thought patterns and all that. But what Guruji does is he fundamentally changes your consciousness, and that is the foundation of everything. When your consciousness changes, that automatically changes your thinking, your mind, your thought patterns. And your life will change accordingly, because everything is driven by your thought and emotions. And he knows exactly how to help you beyond what our limited minds would know, or know what to do. So I started doing individual meditation sessions with him. At first, it was just, very gingerly attempt. I was doing session once a week. He said, Claire, whenever you have time, please schedule one session with me. And he never pressures you into doing anything. He's ever easygoing. And I was, I think my heart still had a little bit of reservation back then. I said, okay, yeah, I would like to do more session with Guruji, but let me just try once a week. And once a week, so on, it went for a few months. But the more I meditated with him, and the more I could feel the transformation that he elicited within me, that I used to be a lot more selfish. I used to be a lot more just very self-focused, and I used to live in a way that's completely devoid of love. Like my heart didn't really know what love was. I thought what love was turned out to be just selfish desires and wanting things from others. So his meditation has elevated my consciousness in the sense that it led to greater understanding of what life is, how to live, and what happiness is, and how to make the best of everything. And that is not something that is dry intellectual understanding. It's not something that you read a book and you're like, oh yes, I agree with that. It's actually something that's very deep, that you experience it yourself in your heart, so you know that's the truth. So then I started meditating with him more and more, because once your heart experiences the truth and love and infinite wisdom and compassion, it recognizes it and it's drawn to it. So I started meditating with him 2-3 times a week, and to the point where now I fully accept him as my master, whose infinite love and wisdom sustains not just me, but everyone in this creation, whether knowingly or unknowingly by themselves. And I feel incredibly blessed to have met him and have him in my life. And it's a deep relief, but it's a very blissful feeling to come to know what life is about, why you're here. And all the previous attempts at seeking things, seeking money, seeking a life partner, seeking
I don't know, life experiences, all those seeking was just veiled attempts at seeking our own self. But we didn't know that. I didn't know that until now. Once you know what life is about and your heart fully accepts it, then you start the real living. And it's an incredibly blissful, happy feeling. It's very liberating too, because you gradually surrender all the hold onto false values, and you start sincerely searching and recognizing and living for true values. And that's what life is really about. And I mean, these are very limited words to convey what I have felt. There's only so much my little mind can do, but when you feel the urge in your heart to search, absolutely follow that. And I've also come to recognize oftentimes the heart and the mind are at odds with each other. I used to be very mind dominated. My mind always knows the best, knows what to do, and it's very clever. But when something in your life happens that renders your mind helpless, that's when you turn to the heart. And the heart only yearns for the truth. So when that moment happens, with God blessing, you will recognize it, and your heart will embark on the journey that I embarked on and led you to truth and to the source of truth. And Guruji is all of that to me.